So the idea was we all have books and lots of them, or so, well, varying amounts depending. I didn't used to put much stock into doing books, but I figured, yeah, it's a good way to remember what you wrote. Because stuff that was in journals years ago, if I find that journal again and I see something, oh, I forgot about that because I don't have it saved anywhere. I've been through many computers and even my storage is broken down. So, okay. The idea is to show your book, whichever one you own, I guess. I'm just suggesting your latest or forthcoming. And if someone joined up and doesn't have a book, which is rare, that's fine too. Just tell us a little bit of something about yourself if that's the case. So let's start then. Wayne Russell, could we start with you? Just say your name, where you're from, and show us your book if you got it there. And just go ahead and read about three pieces that are like that fit, each will fit on a page, about 5 minutes. I can't hear you.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
Yeah, my name is Wayne Russell. I was born in, originally, I'm from Florida, born and raised there for the first 13 years of my life. And from there, I just moved and never stopped moving. So, yeah, my book is, it just came out in January. It's Splinter of the Moon. I don't know whether you guys can see that or not,
move it back from the
but
camera. It's blurry for some reason. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it's getting blurry on us. I'm not sure.
that's
There,
odd.
He
there,
has it.
there we see it. Yeah, it's a nice cover with the orange moon. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and read a few out of here. This one's called The Birds Have Flown Away. Um, Birds no longer visit the feeding hangar from the back porch. Squirrels have stopped their dastardly plans for backyard conquest. The spoils of the feeder now merely exist, purposely drifting to and fro in the autumn breeze. Silence fills the air. The robins no longer harpoon the cool soil, seeking worms of the earth. Sparrows, Carolina wrens, cardinals, nuthatches are all now just a distant memory. They have all flown, taking their songs with them, nestled nestled in feathers and dreams of warmth. Um, the second poem is called Stars. It's a little bit lengthy, but it just still all falls onto one page. Yeah, this is called Stars. I cast out my net until the multitude of stars, they were violent and put up a tremendous struggle. Persevering, I pulled with all my might, simply because they were beautiful. From where I stood upon this troubled earth, I only wanted to be whisked away from the old nemesis of melancholy, to toss my net into old dear goodnight and soar. It must have been the allure of phosphorus shimmer, that twinkling hypnotic sway. It must have been that captivating beauty of diamonds hovering in galaxies millions of miles away. What caused me to cast my old battered net into the thunderous cosmos? Was it only an elusive desire to be captured and soar away, if only for a while, only to be brought back down with the resounding thud of undertow and surrender, settling feet back upon solid ground? Um, yeah, yeah, this is my first reading, so I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
a
that's
little bit
oh great.
nervous.
Oh great.
I've been to one poetry reading before, but I didn't participate when I was in New Zealand. So yeah, this is my first actual reading. And yeah, this last poem that I'll be reading is called Phenomenon. It's on page 35 of my newest book, Splinter of the Moon. Phenomenon. In twilight eyes closing, an echo of ocean waves upon sandy shorelines. I am here safe with you, my love for now, tucked underneath sheets and lucid dreams. What is this phenomenon of love, of life? Cupid's bow and arrow pierces the force field of a heart once so hardened, yet now molded into clay. Your electric touch, the light of your blue eyes, lit faraway galaxies. And now my soul shines brightest thanks to you. Phenomena can and does occur. Miracles still happen. God is all around us. I realize this fully as I collapse into blessed slumber by your side. And that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we're honored to
You're
have
welcome.
be your first poetry reading. So good for
All
you.
right, thanks.
May you go on and
Thank
do
you very
many
much.
more. Okay, Scott Young, would you be ready?
Yes. Uh, my name is Scott Young. I've been the editor of Rusty Truck for the last 15 years. Getting ready to start a podcast called One Poet, One Poem. These podcasts will last as long as one poem lasts. So uh, I'm going from online, I guess, to more of a video type presentation. Uh, I've got three poems probably. First poem is from my first book, and it's called All Around Cowboy. And this is kind of a introductory poem. Oh, by the way, I'm from Kansas City, and recently retired from education. This is called Poetry 101, 7:45 a.m. I never sat with Brodigan in a North Beach bar or hit out with Bukowski in the City of Angels. But if I had, I may have learned early what the pages don't reveal. Instead, I taught a poetry class to your abused, broken, and neglected children and started to give them metaphors, similes, and personification. But they knew figurative language well enough and tried to wear the face of normal, wanting to be like other kids. Tried to hide the scars with just ink tattoos and too much mascara. They read their poems of incest, of rape, of beatings, of parents in prison, of foster homes, of being hooked on meth made it down a dead end county road, of how life is not supposed to be at age 15. They learned that giving human characteristics to inanimate objects sometimes lessened the pain. But I changed my lesson plan when one of them said, "Hey, teach, what is good poetry?" I suppose it is keeping your wounds close to the surface so they can heal quicker. Is that it? On most days, it is. Uh, Next poem is from a book that was released January 1st, entitled They Said I Wasn't College Material, which my house school counselor told me that I wasn't. When I wanted to go to college in Berkeley, he said, "Why don't you go make cars at Ford?" I went, "Okay, I guess I will."
Did you?
Uh, but I didn't listen very well, so I thought I had this poem marked. Okay, yeah, this poem is another education poem, I guess. It's entitled "She Only Wants." She says her parents loved her so much that they divorced. So at 14, she walks 3 miles down a dirt road to drive her grandparents home from the bar that turned into all day. When her dad moved close by before going back to the pen, she would have her friends over and he would send her out on her four-wheeler. Said she was a cock blocker. She had to Google that one. She believes the boys think she's pretty when she goes braless at school, but behind her back they chant limericks that rhyme with her name. The last assignment was to write a poem titled What I Want in Life. She turned hers in within minutes, punctuated with a heart. I only want what you want. This next one has appeared in a few places, but I'll save it for last. The next one is a haiku sonnet, which is 4 haikus and a couplet. This is kind of this poem is titled Song of Myself. In 1960, Scott Young watched Hopalong and Roy Rogers on a green Naugahyde sofa, stitching cowboys and bucking broncos, complete with wagon wheel arms. And on Sunday mornings, he cocked his Red Ryder rifle before ARs and AKs, before the country went to hell in a hate basket, when the good guys always won.
Mm.
And I'll close with this one. It's called First Beer with Bukowski. It was 3 p.m, and we were the only two in the frolic room on Hollywood Boulevard. I sat 2 stools down from him and studied his face in the back bar mirror through the bottles of tequila and whiskey. He nodded toward the mirror, held up a High Life and downed it in one gulp, slammed it down and said, "Another." I whispered to the bartender, who looked like every other actor waiting to be discovered, "Tell him I'm a poet." Bukowski emptied another one, tapped it twice, and went to the John. I leaned in. What'd he say? The bartender stood polishing wet rings on the bar and sounding like Cagney. He said, "Who the hell ain't?"
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jeff Taylor, would you like to go next?
Sure, I'd love to. The honor of following Scott Young, that's great. I don't have a book myself, but I'm definitely writing down everybody's book information here to be putting on my list to what to buy next. I'm shopping my manuscript script around right now, and so maybe we'll see a book soon to come. This poem here is called "Left a Hole." Can you hear me okay? Sometimes I've had my headphone and sometimes it doesn't work that great. Great, thanks. This is "Left a Hole." When I commemorated the anniversary of Kurt Cobain's suicide with a Facebook post, Sean commented with a story about how Ben and Jerry's gave out free ice cream cones on Jerry Garcia's death anniversary, jump-starting a conversation about the commodification of dead celebrities, with a story ending with no one in line knew any Dead songs. The meta bullshittery of the whole occurrence has me wondering if that means Purdue Pharma will be giving out free opiates on the streets of Seattle. Which pharma brand will commemorate the junk sick street kid who died before his album came out? Will they hire a field team? Will doctors promise to overprescribe? Will a radio station offer free therapy to the first caller? Are we all spinning the dial looking for a rush? On the road home from Aberdeen, all our arms taste like scars.
Hmm.
That one's left a hole.
It's like he dropped off.
Oh my goodness. Okay, there's a place where I can edit.
He's gone.
Well, okay. Kenneth Lumkin, would you like to go?
Sure.
So my name's Ken Lumkin, and I was brought up in New Jersey and moved up to Canada in 2009 to be with the lady I love. And I've been writing poetry for quite a long time and very inspired by the American voices, Whitman, Olson, Williams, Pound, people like that. My poems tend to be short, being very influenced also by haiku, trying to go for an economy of words. This is from the book, all three of these are from the book, God Has Many Names and Other Poems. And I think if I'm right, I can put that up right there in chat. How do you get it? A few dogs come up to me with that look in their eyes, like I'm supposed to be responsible for all of man's fuck-ups and frivolities. We don't want a bone this time. We want the real thing, one says. And what is that? I ask. They all look at each other, then back at me. Respect, the one says as they walk away, tails held high, assholes showing. Then I thought this one is appropriate. Scattered glitter here and there is all that's left of Christmas. There being no snow nor Santas, peace on earth even harder to find. Only empty threats and broken promises, how a whole nation can turn its back on democracy, give up on dignity. Only time will tell how freedom went to hell.
Mhm.
And then last one. There are a lot of us, some standing at shelves, others kneeling, still others at tables hunched over a book or magazine. There were those who were in the reference sections, those in biography, more still in periodicals. Then there were those who were there every day because they had nowhere else to go. They would try to hide, sleeping on the couches in side rooms, or somewhere between warfare and whorehouse. This was the Library of Fools, and I had a lifetime card.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
thank you. Okay, Linda Wlodyka, would you like to go?
Yes. My name's Linda Wlodyka. I live in Massachusetts. I was very surprised and honored to accept the Beat Poet Laureate of Massachusetts Award a few months ago, in 2023. And I'd been writing poems for so many years without only publishing chapbooks. So when I found out about the award, I decided to publish a collected poem book, If Brambles Were Bookends. And it doesn't have everything I've written in it, about 67 poems, so probably have 300 or 400 poems. But I like most of the poems in them. So I will read a few poems. If it isn't real, it would be nothing at all. My glasses on here. It is desire more than adoration stealing my attention. Even practicing will not improve the chances. It swarms with self-doubt, yet blossoms like hope. It manipulates my brain as if hanging on every word. Scholars, muses, poets authenticate every line. The words talk to me from the page, like reassurances gone awry. I hear the voice read. I hear the voice read. I memorize its flavor. No aromatics, no citrus, no healing balm or cleansing sage can lend its purity to the sanctity I embrace. It thrives on time and its passing. To vanish is to perish. This inspiration is not a continuum. Reality is not an anomaly. It is a subtle belief more than human hearts dare hang their life on. Okay. This next poem is based on it would be called an ekphrastic because it's based on a art piece that a person named Sidney Gauthier created, and he named it Hierarchy. And all it was superimposed words on top of each other, all in black print. And it looked like a poster. And the words were all blending into other words and piled on top of other words, but you could see the word matter in there more than once. So this is what I said about this art form. The sign's message, one duplicated word, superimposed upon itself like dead matter, makes it clear the black ink leaves smatter. The artwork evokes untold chatter. An ability to stay politically correct, is that what really matters? Why did it lead to a throng who scatters? Don't allow an obscene blather. Don't leave a body in a tatter. This message was not meant to go rogue or shatter. The sign repeats, gets exponentially fatter. A message to enhance the ages, offer advice like sages, located on a map, no more cages, no blame or digressions, no reason for enrages. Let the sign sing with a multitude of voices. It's a civil liberty deserving of all people's rejoices. It's because Gauthier's art form hierarchy was created. It moved me like the poetry of Amanda Gorman. The word matter, just a prompt to try and explore it. Here I write and expound on ideas, notions. All I'm really trying to emphasize is dignity, devotion.
All right.
And the next one is kind of like why are we all here writing all this poetry anyway? In this wild existence where we take claim, a life where wonder keeps us tidy inside our cocoons, where dreamers shed tears, then rebound, where I proclaim more magic than mysticism, yet flowers bloom, children play, guardians loom, lend safe haven. My own abilities evolve constantly. Where your hand and mine cross miles between mountains, valleys, longing for touch, more desire than can breach a dam, where heart blush looks good on paper valentines, where the stick crosses a path, not a hindrance, more than windswept. My own 2 feet continue. I am in search of the light, not at the end of a tunnel. Instead, where solar rays find cracks, crevices, perforations, seepage for their light. Where imperfections improve like a quality controller gone manic. Where flow, not ebb, sends forth currents, spirits thirst. Where Luna's phantasm surrounds full pink moons, exacting each poet's words, hieroglyphics, perpetual. Where future inhabitants peel off their facade, mutter philosophies of the sages, the poems we wrote. Okay, that's my end of my first turn.
All righty.
Thank you.
And it's time for Dane Ince.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Belinda, for this. I'd like to read some short things from 2 different books. And the first one, it's not that I have a lot of books. These are all relatively recent. The first one is I'm going to read from is Destiny Murder. I'm going to read the dedication from that, which is a Tonka. Shape this fedora, the brim of our tango noir, smoke curling over shoulders, looking at me, eyes sadly smiling. Whisper this. And I want to read this piece. It's called Bongo. Hey, bongo player, bongo me an intro, bongo me a bridge. I will fill in the sorry words, snap the happy fingers. You beat on the skins, bongo, till yeah, the end. I want to see this drive-in picture one more time, again, bongo till the beginning, bongo. And the next one is something that is a recent book called Morning Tonka that I wrote with my partner Mercedes. And let me see if I can share the screen so that Oh, it's disabled. Well, okay, I'll just read from it.
Do you have the book there? You can show it the cover?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. Hold on a second. With the background, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure you'll be able to see it, but I put the cover in the. You can do some magic with that, can't you? You can put that right over my face, and then people could just hear me talking. I don't think it'll show up because I have the
Okay.
background is doing some strange thing. Hold on one second.
Oh my God. Okay.
Here, hold it up so we can see your face.
Okay. Waking too early, mind needs less sleep than body. Watch the progression of night becoming daylight. Navy, true blue, cornflower. Feeling mystified by the effect of your gaze, like a magician combining the archetypes, sage, creator, and lover.
I would be lonely, save for your gentle loving. I am young again. Spring, green grasslands by the bay, ascending comments above. I climb the ladder. Your lovely long hair, heaven wraps me in clover. This heather is this man's home. Wander not away from love. There is perfection. There we are in the moment. There is joy and love. There sits the wish of an us. There is glorious morning.
Past is not prologue, all due respect to Shakespeare. Memories linger, but choices we make today shape our present and future.
You told me not to bring the baggage of the past into our new house. Let us build with mud and sticks, warm love and starry vault roof.
The sound of your voice is like music to my ears. Speak to me, my love. Your language of poetry, a beautiful symphony. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very lovely. And I think I think there's just 7 of us, and everybody's had one chance except me, and I'll read from Full Moon Midnight, which is also from Roadside Press. And we had someone here who held up a book I recognized from Roadside Press. It was Scott. Scott, yes. All right. And this is officially out March 15th, but of course it's pre-order right now. To the mass shooters, unfiltered words, unexamined lives, propaganda parrots, insane thoughts and projections, pain squeezed inward until the pressure explodes. Judging without empathy, the very thing you need to soothe the pain, anger in your unloved life. A cold shell unable to open, a small light needing fuel. You need attention, and you'll get it. You buy the long gun at the shop around the corner, boxes of bullets ready for random retribution. They will remember you killed their relatives. You will make an impression at last. But you will still not be loved. Waywardly mobile, life funnels breath, electric current amplifies, human prey nearby with tribal understanding woven into a light sill. Cathedral windows power star worship, whittles heaven to fear, curled toward comfort. Every head is a planet across time zones and years, transporting to surrealistic planes, lies woven into media, burning injustice, stinging politics, shaming preachers, witnessing a cult of damnation, seeking bullets instead of love. Science explained to Trumpsters. Science is the earth dying, acid rain, carcinogenic crops, drought, money-driven ruin, galaxies beyond galaxies, black holes of power and mystery. Its history, like nesting dolls, reveals stages of being, our doing, undoing, and poisoning the depths of life. It's not a trend that's in or going through a phase or a way to slow business for billionaires. It does not disappear when you disbelieve. More real than religion, science is like God unfolding an ultimate ethereal essence that puts man-written holiness in a shallow fairy tale grave where men walk with dinosaurs and eat fruit that shames. Okay, we'll go again. I think we started, well, let's see, we might, Jeff Taylor, would you like to read some more? We lost you earlier and we're having another round, so go ahead and read one or two very short ones or one regular size, one page.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Last time I got a phone call. I'm doing this on my phone, and then a call came in, and I tried to get rid of the call, but I think I got rid of the
Yeah.
Zoom here by accident. My fault.
Was the poem cut off in the middle or was that the end?
It was cut off like right towards the beginning, actually.
Okay.
Should I do that poem again, or should I just go to a different poem?
Whatever you'd like to do, but that last one I'll have to chop off since it didn't do you justice and cut off. Okay.
Yeah. That's just.
Two. Go ahead and read two.
I'll redo this one. This is family politics. When my dad tells me my uncle is skipping the family reunion so he can travel to a Trump rally in Pennsylvania, I think about our dinner conversations revealing we descended from John Adams, and it feels like we've been avoiding our family obligations. Not like we should have gone to more summer barbecues, but like we left work unfinished somewhere along the line. Now that courts give more protection to praying on field after high school football games than they give to choice in women's health decisions, and Congress cares more about getting likes from QAnon conspiracy theorists than they care about protecting school children from mass shooters, the significance of July 4th coming and going while we watch the January 6th hearings pulls through my intestines like I'm crammed shoulder to shoulder in the back of a Ford Escape with John Adams and every other man I've been related to on a road trip to nowhere, poorly attempting to hold in a fart laced with the odor of personal responsibility. I'm reminded of when Trump told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, and the role the choices my ancestors played in getting us here in the first place. Then I try to picture what it would be like to live in a world where doves and wolves bathe each other in truth. When my wife ran for city council, the question she was asked most was, who is going to watch the kids?
Okay.
Do I have time for another one, or should I just?
Yeah, go ahead since we're going to have to cut off the one that you started before.
All right. Thanks. This is Catfish. My cat says voting is a sucker's game. I bought him a collar on Etsy with the words "I voted" embroidered on it, but I haven't made him wear it. I hold the wearable statement awkwardly close to his face, whispering possibilities. He looks at me like I've wasted my breath, not having believed in anything since being catfished by Taylor Swift. Every night for nearly a year, the pop star mimicked our neighbor's cat's ritual until T. Swift's love dance was revealed to be a nefarious ruse concocted to win a bet with Ariana Grande.
Hmm.
It's been zero fucks and Sex Pistols ever since coming ass to mouth with the fact that rich people take niche pastimes far too seriously. When I asked my cat if he had made a plan to vote, he said he was going to be writing in his own name.
Okay. Thank you. Scott,
Thank you. I appreciate being a part.
we're glad to have you here. Scott Young, would you like to read something?
Sure. This is from All Around Cowboy, and this took place when I was about 18, and I worked in a dinner playhouse as a custodian. It's called Gone with the Wind for Butterfly McQueen. I met Miss McQueen in '74. She was on stage in Kansas City in a starring role, and I cleaned up after the dinner show and all the money went home. She told me once that I would do great things. I told her I wanted to go into construction. Shaking her head, she had the biggest smile. She said that was not what she saw. She said she didn't care for streets paved with gold and never believed in those Jesus myths, and that her first acting job was a maid and probably be her last role as well. That when she did Gone with the Wind, she couldn't go to the premiere. It was whites only. When I said that was a long time ago, Miss McQueen, she smiled, placed her hand on my arm, and shook her head. No, honey, it's not.
Oh,
This next one is in, they said I wasn't college material, and titled After Breakfast, the Last Day of School. JC sat in my office and buried his head in his hands, sobbing between dropping the F bomb, and said some kid looked at him wrong and called him a effing psycho. He said it's getting worse. It's been like this his whole life, and every father he ever had called him worthless. Before I made the call, he made a gun with his hand, put a finger to his temple, and said, "This is how it ends today. Screw this." I lied to him, said it will get better when he gets older. Just give it time. He looked up with nothing in his eyes and pulled the trigger.
oh, wow.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thank you. Kenneth Lumkin, would you like to read another one?
Sure. They're short. May I be allowed to read a couple? Okay. This is from second to the last one that came out. It's called Slip of the Tongue. There were about a dozen poems scattered on the floor. I'd been turning them out fast and furious that night. One of the tougher looking ones got up and demanded to be sent to the New Yorker immediately. Then the little fucker flipped me. I lit a cigarette with my Zippo and stared at him for a long minute. He laid back down. I looked at him lying there with all the others. What did they think this was? A fucking democracy? And then I just thought I'd end it light. I have no regrets. I like pretty girls and my brand of cigarettes. I like being alone at night with no one in sight, listening to the tick on the Napoleon clock and the sounds of American rock. Until I go to bed, wasted, almost dead, the music still in my head. I have no regrets. I like pretty girls and my brand of cigarettes.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you very much. Okay, Linda Wlodyka, would you like to read one or two very short ones?
Yeah, I'll read one. Thank you for having this, Belinda.
It's fun. I'm glad you're
It
here.
is. This was written a long time ago, when I first started going to beat poetry events. So this is called Ode to the Beat Poets. It's not the transient soul, it's the transient soul, meaning the bottom of your feet. Oh, I just got reading glasses. I keep forgetting I own them and I wonder why I'm squinting. Okay. It's not the tire that screeches, then implodes. It's not the stench of flesh baking in the sun, but the candy, sticky crunch. It's not a carafe of wine that leaves a grape stain or that the Madonna's tongue is lily white. It's not how purity sings, but how grace flows, takes a hold, and endures. It's not anybody you know that leans over a 40th story balcony in Midtown Manhattan, or how a red line stains the pavement. It's not like what you like or want or anything you can control. It's what hangs down from park trees and flagpoles and what flaps from a car's antenna that sparks a light incandescent, blind, brighter than the brightest sun. It's everything far and near, here or there, that whispers the law of the land, that fences you in or fences you out, that taps you on the shoulder and pushes you into the confines of four walls, with murals, ugly yet exotic, with fading streak tugging at your soul. It's exhilarating to 100 miles per hour on a straight stretch of highway after exiting the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, traveling with a convertible top down in a black 1958 T-Bird, racing onward through sand, cacti, tumbleweed, Las Vegas, then into Northern California, where San Francisco Bay's fog stares you down, wipes the mud from the soles of your dirty feet, then shines.
All right. Dane Ince, and is Mercedes Duggar around?
No, I have to fly solo this time.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of short ones from Destiny Murder. And the way Destiny Murder came about is that I wrote a poem, and I thought, after I wrote this poem, and I was reading it and thinking, oh, gee, this feels like some kind of genre or something. It feels like it's like a noir thing. And so after thinking about that, then I decided to write something, on purpose that would be that kind of in that milieu. Bookstore. Found in a Venice Beach used bookstore. N.E. will not be silent. Porridge Press, 1980. An excerpt from Fucking in the Disneyland Hotel in Anaheim, California, 1957. Noita Edgecliffe and Patty Ciparia take Disneyland by storm. Noita is the most famous unknown beat poet. She's in a couple with Patty. Patty goes by the pen name Vamp Poison, a Cheltenham poet known for her titles like Bondage, A Lesson in Love, Tender Tears, Love is Misery, Cry, Mercy, Hats and veils, heels, gloves, seamed stockings, perfect straight, Technicolor red lips suck on cigarettes, waiting on the platform for the shiny, hard, phallic monorail train to slide smoothly into the hotel station. Imagine Grace Kelly and Vivian Lee smoking on the platform, cancer smoke curling over shoulders. Then you appreciate the smolder of the adventure soon to ensue. Tomorrowland will never be the same. The couple soon learns that this is no place if you're thirsty for a martini. They swagger and look at everything. They look at each other with that look. Lovers know the invitation for.
Oh, I like that background. Is that your book, Pulp Poetry, Beat Noir?
Let's see, does it work now? That's part of it. For some reason, the whole thing doesn't fit on the screen. It's actually Destiny Murder. It's so it's kind of some subtitles: Pulp Poetry, Beat Noir, and this is kind of part of the subtitle. And let me see if it's working now before it gets finicky again. It's a really short piece. It's only a few lines. Mid-dive. Morning drunks were never very entertaining. They have the purpose of oblivion. Every poem is a death poem. The black cat sits in midnight dark, casting a long shadow, trips me into mid-dive.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wayne Russell, do you have another one you'd like to read?
Yeah, sure. I have one more that I'd like to share. It's called 56. It's also from my second collection, Splinter of the Moon. 56, it goes like this. Dark cadence, and she steals the night. The world is a cesspit of corruption and lies. That she knew and took it to her early grave. This world will chew your soul up and spit it out. Your DNA is drawn upon boiling city sidewalks. Humanity dissipates. Nothing is what it seems. Crushed beneath, you die. Mother knew this, and so she drowned her woes behind closed doors. She mourned her favorite son, death by a 22 caliber, age 26. Mother knew this world was a cult of evil and empire. She knew that, and quietly surrendered to the devil and cheap $10 plastic bottles of vodka worship, dying at the age of 56.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Well, I'll finish off with a short little philosophical bit called Infinite Mollusk. A chambered nautilus, breathing water, exhibits mastery of life, tentacles sensing, fingers in the waves, pointing nowhere, everywhere. The inclusive mind is love in action. The mind creates the abyss, the heart crosses it. A chambered nautilus, breathing water, exhibits mastery of life, tentacles sensing, fingers in the waves, pointing nowhere, everywhere. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll have this.
Thanks, Belinda. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.